Start our practice. Find your focus. Bring your awareness to your breath. Think about what you want from your practice today. Maybe close your eyes, gaze down. Keep those thoughts with you here on the mat. If they begin to wander, and yes, they will, it doesn't mean you're failing at yoga. If your mind wanders, it will wander. Just notice it. The practice is noticing. Notice that breath. Take a hold of it. Bring it back. Bring your awareness, not your breath. Your breath should always be with you. All right. Let's take 3 big breaths together. A nice big inhale here. Maybe you sip in a little more. Exhale, press the air out. 2 more just like that. Big inhale. Exhale, press it out. 1 more. Let's open your eyes if they're still closed. Return to a natural breath and tell your body it's time to move. Let's inhale, reach up. Exhale, press the air down. Left arm reaches up a side, bend here. Inhale up, take it to the other side. Inhale, back to center. We'll twist to one side. Exhale, come forward, twist to the other side. So these are just those simple movements that we do at the beginning of every class. The 6 movements of the spine. Let's bring our hands to our knees. Pull a little bit as you press your belly and chest forward. Look up to the sky. Exhale, curl your spine. Look down. A little cat and cow here in your seat. Find some shoulder rolls, and then in a few breaths, make your way to a tabletop. So come to hands and knees. And when you get here, come into those cats and cows. I'm going to back up here. Maybe some little side bends. Just those wiggles that your body is asking for here at the beginning of practice. And then I have a little sunbird type pose, to gate pose flow. So we'll take our left leg back, tuck the toes, press the heel back, get that long stretch. Maybe I'll try sideways here. And then we're going to lift the leg, turn it to the left, set the foot down, out to the side. Okay, let's try this. So foot is lined up with the knee. Plant the sole of the foot down, press. Step your hands a few inches forward. Little tip to your tailbone if that would feel nice. Press back. We're looking for a stretch in the hamstring here. Not in the hamstring, the adductor. The inside of your thigh. So keep that foot pressing down. Press the hips back. On an inhale, rise up. Bring your hand, your right hand, I'm backwards. Your right hand back under your shoulder. Reach out and up with the left. Thread it through 3 times. Reach behind right arm. 2 more of those. Nice long spine here. Exhale, thread it through and reach. So big twist in your spine. 1 more. Hand comes down. Walk your hands both back towards your knee. Rise up, gate pose. Inhale, reach up. Side bend towards this extended leg. Inhale, reach. Nice strong core, and when I say core, I don't just mean your belly. I mean your side muscles, your back, even a bit of your glutes. All these things are connected. That's your core. Let's inhale, reach up. One more side bend here. Rise up. Hand comes down on the other side to supported side plank. I like a block, gives me a little more space. Top arm reaches up by your ear. Maybe you stay here, maybe you lift this leg. Maybe you bend elbow to knee 3 times. And then using that whole circle of core, we're going to rise up. So don't launch off this hand. That's cheating, unless you want to. We'll lift up. One more side bend here. Come back to center. Return to your tabletop. Add a cat and cow. If you liked that block, swap it to the other side. And then take right foot back. Tuck the toes. Press the heel. Lift the leg, turn it out to the side, plant it down. So once again, press into that foot. Step your hands just a few inches forward. Tip your hips up, your tailbone up, and press back. Inhale, rise up, bring your hands back under your shoulders, plant your left hand down. Reach out and up to the right. Thread through. Make sure your spine is long. I feel like that was a little too close, so step forward. Spine is nice and long. Thread it through. Inhale up. Reach through. One more. Come back to center. Walk your hands back towards your knee. Rise up to gate pose. So knee lines up with that foot. Add your arms. Side bend here. Inhale up. One more of those. Inhale up and then hand to the mat or the block on the other side. Top arm reaches up by your ear. So big, long, diagonal line. Maybe you stay here. Maybe that leg lifts. Maybe elbow to knee 3 times. Move with intention and remind yourself of what your intention is, how you want to feel at the end of class. Inhale, rise up. Side bend here. Come back to center. Return to your tabletop. Come into any cat and cow little movements. And then make your way to down dog. Fingers are spread wide. Step one foot back and the other. Maybe you pause and plank for a breath if that's your intention. And then bend your knees deep. Press your hips back. Take the tailbone to the sky. Walk your dog out here. Pull your low belly in. Press the mat away with your hands. Reach your heels to the back of the room. Pause for a breath in stillness. And then bend your knees deep. Look to the top of the mat. Take little steps to come to that forward fold at the top of the mat. I like a block sometimes. Drop your head. Knees can be bent. A little sway side to side. And then hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. A little bend to your knees, press into your feet. Inhale, rise to stand. Come to your mountain at the top of the mat. I'm just going to move right into our flow. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Let's inhale, reach up. Exhale, chair pose. So arms, typically in yoga poses, are usually an accessory. So if they're tired today, hands can come to heart. Maybe they stay reaching. You choose. One more breath here. And then on your next inhale, weight comes into left foot. Lift your right foot. I'm switching back to my regular foot, and just do which one works for you. So now I'm going to call this my right foot because it is. Step about halfway back on the mat. Take your feet wide. You're really going to press into the outside of that back foot. It's kind of on an angle. Right hip turns towards the top of the mat, but keep pressing with that foot. And then bend the front knee. This is your warrior one. So have a block if you're going to use blocks at the top of your mat. We're going to do a little workshop on our triangle pose. On an exhale, hands clasped behind your back. Press those palms together, and if that doesn't work in your body, take your opposite wrist or hold on to opposite thumb. We're going to press those knuckles to the floor, shoulder blades pull together, look up. Exhale, hinge forward. Humble warrior, that's what this is called. Keep pressing into those legs, press into that back foot, maybe arms lift off your low back for a shoulder stretch, but make sure your hands are nice and tight. On an exhale, release your hands, bring them to the block, straighten your front leg. Maybe this back foot steps in a few inches. Pyramid pose. Front toes can lift up if you need more of a stretch in your hamstrings. Most people probably don't need that extra stretch. They're getting plenty here. And then we're going to come into triangle, a little different than I usually do. So turn your back foot a little to the side, maybe almost to tightrope with that back foot kind of lined up with the back heel. So back heel, front heel to back heel. Block inside the front foot. Bring your left hand to the block, nice and light. You're on your fingertips. You're not dumping. Right hip to your right hand to your right hip. Lift the hip. Right hand to your right shoulder. Open up. And then reach that right arm up to the sky. So arms, that looks weird with that block there. There we go. Arms are into a T. Gaze can be up to your top thumb. Top hand comes to your hip. Put a little bend in this front knee. Rise up. Next pose is warrior two. So make the length work for you. Turn the back foot to the side. This time arch or ball of the back foot lines up with the heel of the front. Hips are facing to the side. Bend your front knee. Add your arms. Gaze over front fingertips. One more big breath here as you really press into the back side of that back leg. Flip your front palm. Let's reach it up. Exalted warrior. Exhale back to warrior two. Get those shoulders up over your hips. And then inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, someone is pulling you right from over there with a rope. You're going to lean forward. Left hand comes to your shin, a block. Right arm reaches up. Gaze up at that top thumb. So nice, big, open chest, open hips to the side in our triangle. Exhale, top hand to your hip, little bend in your knee. Rise up, turn. Let's turn to the back of the mat. Step forward. Make sure you have a block on this side. If you want to go back to your top of your mat, wherever you are, that works too. But let's inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to chair pose. Weight comes into your right foot. Let's lift left foot. Step about halfway back on the mat. Take your feet wide. Pull this left hip forward, bend in the front knee. Press down that back side of that back leg. Add your arms. So maybe your intention is to build a little strength, so you can look up there and see those imaginary resistance bands. Grab a hold. Pull arms down. Reach up. Use your muscles. They're really tight bands. 2 more of these. Exhale, clasp your hands behind your back. Press knuckles to the floor, a little back bend. Exhale, hinge forward. So, humble warrior, what is that? Are we laying on this front leg? No. We are using our core, our legs, to hold ourselves up. Maybe those arms lift, you can drop your head. And then using that whole circle of core muscles, rise up. Step the back foot in. So pyramid pose is next. Last time I didn't rise up. So let's inhale, reach up. Both legs are straight. Hinge forward. Hands to your shin or the floor or a block. Hips are level and square. Notice if you're tipping the left hip up a lot. And then right hand comes to the block. Nice and light. Open up your hip, your chest. Reach left arm up to the sky. Triangle pose. Actually, you might want to turn that back foot around to the side. So make the length of the pose work for you. Top hand to your hip, bend in the front knee, rise up. Turn this back foot to the side, line up, heel to arch. Bend the front knee. Add your arms. Warrior 2. Shoulders and hips create Marianne called it a capital I pose. A capital I shape. So here's the bottom, here's your eye. So kind of shoulders on top of hips. Mine sticks out. We'll just ignore that. Let's flip the front palm, reach it up, exalted warrior. Don't lose your lunge. Exhale, back to warrior 2. Inhale, straighten this front leg. Exhale, hinge forward. Left hand to the block. No, that's my right hand. Left arm reaches to the sky. So nice and light. That hand can rest on the inside of the shin. Maybe it comes to the floor, but that's not the goal. Don't have your chest and your hips hunched over. I want you open. It just feels nicer. Little bend in your front knee. We will rise up. Turn toes to face the long side of the mat. Let's turn the toes in and clasp your hands once more behind your back. Press those knuckles to the floor, look up. A little back bend here. And then exhale, hinge forward. Legs are nice and straight. You're really pressing into the outside of your feet. Maybe arms stay on low back. Maybe they lift up. On an exhale, lower your hands to your low back. Put a little bend in your knees. Bring hands to the floor. Bend one knee and the other. And then hands to hips. Slowly rise to stand. Heel toe your feet together. Maybe a little hop. Come to the top of the mat. We're going to flow through that flow one more time. So return to your mountain. Return your thoughts, if they have wandered, back to the mat. And notice your breath. Let's inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Hands to shins or thighs, halfway lift, long, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to chair pose. Weight comes into right foot, lift your left, no, weight comes into left foot, lift your right. Step it halfway back on the mat. Find your balance. Right hip pulls forward just till it stops. Bend the left knee, front knee. Add your arms. Maybe you add those pulls with the imaginary resistance bands, building a little strength in our arms. And then exhale, hands to clasp behind your back. Little back bend here. Exhale, hinge forward. Left shoulder towards left knee. Maybe arms lift up. Exhale, lower the arms to your back. Release hands to the mat. Back foot steps in, toes point forward. Maybe hands to a block. Pyramid pose. So rock side to side, get those wiggles out, and then find your pose. Hips are level, press your feet into the earth. Left hand to the block. Turn your back foot to the side a bit. So you can come to those warrior two legs if that works for you. We're going to open everything up. Take right hand. Draw it up the left as you lift your hip, lift your shoulder, reach up, triangle pose. Gaze to the ceiling. On an exhale, top hand to your hip, bend the front knee, rise up. Now we're going to come to bring our feet to tightrope. So front heel lines up with that back arch, bend the front knee. Warrior two. Arms are out, you're gazing over your front fingertips. Keep this lunge, flip your front palm, reach it up. Exhale, wide. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, reach forward. Hand to the block or the shin. Triangle pose from the typical way that we come into it. Little bend in your front knee. Rise up. Step to the top of your mat. I'm going to turn. Just works better. Inhale, reach. Exhale, chair. Weight comes into right foot, left foot lifts and steps back. Warrior one. The hardest thing was getting this back foot to feel normal in Warrior One. Really press into the outside of it. Hips face the top-ish of the mat. Clasp your hands behind your back. Press knuckles to the floor. Look up. Exhale, hinge forward. Humble warrior. Maybe the arms lift. Maybe they don't. It's all good. Exhale, lower arms. Bring hands to the floor or a block. Straighten the front leg as you step the back foot in. So feet, I like toes all facing forward. Wiggle around, make it work for you. Feet are a little wide. Notice how I'm hanging onto this block. That's not what I want you to do. I want you to be nice and strong. Use your core, your torso, your legs to hold you up. Pyramid pose. And then right hand rests lightly on this front block. Turn your back foot to the side. Let's go ahead and come to that alignment here for Warrior Two. But we're going to open up into our triangle. So left hand comes down by the right. We're going to draw it up like a bow and arrow. Draw up. Open up. So chest and hips open. Top arm reaches. Turn your gaze up to that top thumb. Give it a little wiggle. Maybe rotate your wrist around. Top hand to your top hip. Bend in the front knee. Rise up. Let's turn to the long side of the mat again. This time toes turn out. We'll inhale, reach up, legs are straight, arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, bend your elbows, goddess pose. So a nice tall spine here. Make sure you're not pressing out or tucking forward, just nice and comfy in your power pose. Maybe left elbow taps left thigh. Inhale up, take it to the other side. One more. Inhale back to center, arms reach up. Exhale, fold. Turn those toes forward, bend one knee and the other. Make your way to a seat. So bring both knees down. Take your hips to one side, legs come forward. We're going to play with a little twist here. Shake your legs out. If you want to sit up on a block or a cushion, it helps. It just gives you a little more space. And then we're going to bend our right knee. Plant the foot down. It doesn't have to be way back. Right hand rests behind you. Left arm reaches. Exhale, twist towards the knee. Elbow can come in front of knee, behind knee. Maybe it rests on the shoulder. Maybe you move stuff out of the way. These backhand fingers can walk a few more inches to come into a deeper twist. But once you get your chest, your hips twisted, your chin can stay right over your chest. Your neck twisting doesn't make the twist better or worse. But if you want to get the neck involved, maybe you turn it towards your back shoulder. Big breaths here. Your extended leg has the foot flexed. So nice and strong, unless that's not your intention. But if your intention is to put a little work in, then be nice and strong here. On an exhale, gaze comes forward, chest comes forward. Take that leg out, shake them out. Switch to the other side. So left knee is bent, left hand is your kickstand. Right arm reaches up. Twist towards this knee. Move stuff out of the way. Maybe this back arm rests on your low back. You can see my fingers wiggling there. But your spine is tall. Deepen your twist. Maybe your gaze turns back over back shoulder. On an exhale, turn your gaze forward, chest forward. If you're on a block, come on off. Plant both feet on the mat, tick-tock side to side. And then come on down to your back. So I usually end my classes in the same way. Bring both knees into your chest. So now would be a good time to do bridge. Although I feel like we did a lot of back bends here. So let's find a figure 4. So lots of warrior 2s, warrior 1s. So let's do a hip stretch. Take right foot high to the sky. Bend the knee. Bring it to opposite thigh. Maybe you pause, rest, stay right here. Maybe you bring knees into your chest. Have both feet flexed. Here comes my dog. Lay down. You can press the right knee away. Lay down. Maybe a little rock side to side. Give that low back a massage. And then we'll take left foot down. Reach right foot high. Set the foot down. Tick, tuck your knees nice and slow, side to side. We'll take that to the other side. Left leg reaches. Bend the knee. Bring ankle to opposite knee. Know that if you're getting enough of a stretch here, if your intention is to rest and pause, You could stay right here. Maybe draw your knees in to deepen this stretch. Feet are flexed. Next exhale, take your right foot to the floor, left leg to the sky. Bring both feet to the mat. Slowly tick-tock knees side to side. Next time your knees are in the center, let's lift our hips, take them to the right, and tick-tock and drop both knees to the left. Arms reach out wide, or maybe left hand rests on the knees. Soften here in this space between your eyebrows, your jaw. Settle shoulders down into the mat. Soften on each exhale. And know that you have the power. You can press pause on this video and stay here as long as you want. But for now, let's inhale to center. Press your feet into the earth. Take your hips to the other side. Tick-tock those knees side to side just a couple times. And then when they're off to the right, drop them down. Arms can reach out to a T, your right hand can rest on that left leg. On your next inhale, send that air, send that breath to your spine. And then sigh out any tension that still might be hanging on. Once again, you could pause this video. You could stay here for a while. Let's bring those knees back to center. Tick-tock, knees side to side. And then make your way to Shavasana. Shavasana can be done in any way. It's a place, a pose to rest in. Traditionally, it is done in corpse pose. And if you're one of those people that always has your arms down here, try that first. And then bring your arms up wider. Notice how that changes in your shoulder. So here, your shoulders are kind of lifted. Out here, they settle down and drop. Maybe you come over to your belly and you lay in crocodile pose. Maybe you come to a seat. But find a place where you can pause. Knees can bend to help your low back feel comfy. Shavasana is a time to pause, to rest here at the end of our practice. Once again, you could pause here. And whenever you are ready to come out, begin to deepen that breath first. Don't change anything. Couple big breaths. Start to make little movements in your fingers, your wrists, your toes and ankles. Turn your head from side to side and roll to one side. When you come to your side, pause here for a moment. And then keep those eyes closed or gaze down. Take your top leg, stretch it long. Press into the mat, lifting up to a seat. Let's take one more breath together. We'll inhale, reach up. palms together, hands to heart. I was taught that when we in yoga say namaste, that it means the light and love in me sees and honors the light and love in you. So namaste. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with us and whoever else around the world may be practicing with us. Thank you. Bye-bye.